It's a new era at LSU. It is the Brian Kelly era, leaving Notre Dame as the winningest coach in that program's history. Well, there's some work to do now at LSU. It seems not long ago that LSU was on top of the college football world. One of the best seasons we have seen in college football history back in 2019, 15-0, winning the national championship. But 2020 going 5-5, and 2021 6-7. Now our experts say Brian Kelly hard at work there in Baton Rouge. Here's our Dennis Dodd talking to Brian Kelly.
Coach, you told me coming in you had 36 scholarship players. I think that's fairly common knowledge. But what did you do to fill in?
Well, there was a lot of work, right? I mean, now some of those fairly, we got back, from injury, and there were some issues relative to, academics, and they became eligible. But it was the transfer portal, certainly. It was mid-year enrollment. So it was a combination of a lot of those things that, we had to restock. It was different, certainly. It was something that I hadn't gone through before. But that was the challenge here. And I think we met the challenge. And, by the time we kick it off, it's the SEC. You can't go into the season without 80-plus scholarships. And I think we'll be close to 84 when we're ready to kick it off against Florida State.
That's good. You were telling me also earlier that when you came in here, it was an assimilation. I mean, you knew what you were getting into,
Yeah.
but I don't know if anybody knows what they're getting into at LSU when they come here. What's so unique about it?
I think, look, I mean, first of all, we're going into a large metropolitan city, a lot larger than people believe. It's the state capital. There's a lot going on. This is a diverse city. There's a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot of politics. And so, when you get in here, there's a lot of things. You hear this. Well, that's the way we've always done it here, and that's okay, so you got to kind of get used to the way things are done and then still carve out the way you do things as well. So, you come in and you kind of get the lay of the land and figure it out, and you lean on some people. Scott Woodward is from Baton Rouge, so you lean on, your boss in these instances, and you kind of get, what are appropriate and the things that you need to do. And I thought we've done a pretty good job of kind of finding the middle ground.
And you can recruit, get in your car and drive 3.5 hours in any direction. Yeah. Nothing against any school, but you have to fly. You had to fly at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
How neat is that to go get your class?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, to be in the state of Louisiana in particular and to have the kind of talent pool and the schools, you can pick from a number of private schools as well, not to say anything about the public schools because they're solid as well. But, to have that opportunity here in the state. And, look, you can go 3.5 hours into the state of Texas. You certainly can go to some of the other schools that are contiguous to the state. But pulling your base at Louisiana is going to give you a really good football team.
All right, I'm going to be the fanboy here because everybody wants to know about the quarterbacks. What about Jaden Daniels? What about Garrett?
Yeah.
What about Miles?
Yeah.
How's that going to be?
You know what? I mean, I thought, this was going to be a lot in terms of, reps. But Coach Sloan, Coach Denbrock have done a great job of really getting all of them the appropriate work so we can evaluate them. And so that they go through the spring and go, this was fair. We got an opportunity to compete, and they're all getting an opportunity to compete. It's been fun to see them compete. All of them have strengths. We can't play them all. But as we get closer to the end of the spring, I think we're starting to feel like we know what their strengths are, and that's what you want from the spring.
LSU, there's always linemen, it seems, defensive linemen. Yeah. Is that something you hang your hat on here, that they're always going to be around?
Yeah, but look, you can't take anything for granted. We're in the SEC, and the SEC West there's great players and there's great recruiters, and we have to do a great job just to keep up with the proliferation of talent in this league. So we've got to work really hard at it. We've got some good players, but we've got to continue to recruit to that front. And, obviously, linebackers, DBs, and safety. So this is going to be 24/7, 365 days a year.
Right. Finally, I thought it was very interesting. You talked to Nick Saban before this process and then after. I think people would expect you to, but what kind of relationship did you have with him, and what did he tell you about LSU?
Well, Nick and I have always had a relationship, and, we're busy, so it's not like we're going to sit down and we're going to say, hey, what do you think? But, in my conversations, he can talk about his experiences and what the strengths are of a program like LSU, and I was able to obviously put enough together that this was a great program and a great opportunity. And I look, he's been here, he knows, and when you can get advice and counsel from a guy like Nick Saban, he's a good one to take it from.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
You got it. Thank you.
So here is the schedule for the LSU Tigers in 2022, opening the season September 4th at Florida State. Of course, it will be a biggie going up against Alabama November 5th. The good news is the game is not in Tuscaloosa. So there's the good news. LSU Tigers, by the way, a long shot, 75-1 odds to win the national championship. Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.